Welcome back to my channel. My name is April. I was on Accutane, or better known as isotretinoin, for 6 months, and I documented it all almost every week. In this video, I'll be sharing my experience on Accutane, the side effects, addressing every single thing you'd need to know going on this medication, and how I was able to cope with the side effects and why, in my opinion, it was totally worth it. If you are already not subscribed, please hit that bell and hit that like button. It would really help me out a lot. And I hope this will help anyone regarding their outlook or their decision to go on Accutane. Let's jump into the video. I have been fighting with acne, cystic and regular acne, since I was 14 years old, with every medication, cream, etc. the doctors could try out on me. And when I say everything, I mean even including resorting to scalp pulling. Yeah, wasn't pleasant. They tried to convince my mom to put me on Accutane when I was 16 years old, but my mother was afraid to because the doctors were warning her that they did have a risk of high depression, which could possibly lead to suicide, which I will address later on in the video. Therefore, I have spent the last decade trying every cream, like Proactive, every pill, like doxycycline. I was on that twice for 2 years each time, and that made me very sick, by the way. And every over-the-counter cream and facial scrub you could possibly think of. And this was the only thing that helped. So now I'm gonna show you the transformation videos and photos that I documented through these last 6 months, and then I will cover the side effects. Week 4 on Accutane. My shoulders have gotten pretty bad. That is the kind of worst of it. I have a lot right here. I had a couple on my stomach, and this is my neck area, my chin. This is where I got the worst of it, below my chin, and then of course I'm going to show you my back. We'll get into this more in the video, but this sunburn was the worst sunburn of my life because one of the side effects is extreme sensitivity to sun, and your skin is just very fragile. I actually got this sunburn from sitting just outside underneath an awning for half the day at the beach, and I could not move my arms for a week. My profession is a photographer, and when I am editing photos, I usually soften the skin. When I did this photo shoot on week 20, I felt no need to edit the skin whatsoever. This was my natural skin in these photos, and I just felt really good about myself. So as you can see here, everything is pretty clear, as you saw by the pictures and the videos, but of course it comes with its side effects. So let's talk side effects. I am going down the list of side effects in severity. First and foremost, dry lips and just dryness overall. I was warned that there would be dryness overall, but the worst place I got it was in my lips. Aquaphor became my best friend. I thought that I just needed chapstick. If you're going to get on this medication, you're gonna need something way more powerful than that. Tubes of these, perfect. And then also, in case you forget this somewhere and you don't have it on you, I highly recommend keeping these mini ones on you in your purse. Your dermatologist should have these on him or her, so ask for them if you can't. Just try to get them, because these have been a lifesaver for me when I have forgotten my big ones somewhere. The first month for me was super tough with the dryness. It just feels like you have a really bad cold, but the only symptom you have from that cold is the dry lips. If you are gonna go on this medication, before you go to sleep every single night, please don't forget, get a big glob of this and put it in the corners of your lips and all around your lips, because in the morning, you will not feel like someone chopped off your lips and sliced open the corners of your lips. Because when you get the corners of your lips, that is the worst possible part, because then you really can't eat or open your mouth for a couple days. It's not as bad as I'm making it sound, but it's just really annoying. So just make sure you lather up your lips with this stuff every night, so you just don't have to go through that. So the next side effect I experienced was joint aches. I spend a lot of time in the gym. I lift heavy 5 to 6 days a week. And at the time that I got on this medication, I was training for a really big competition in October. I started the medication in 2021 in April or May. And I'm just now finishing up my last 13 days of the medication in November, so I still have my dry lips right now, but it's just the last 13 days, so can't wait. Along with the joint aches, I actually developed bursitis in my shoulder. It was a small injury from the competition that I did in March of 2021, but it was never able to heal because Accutane does prolong healing. So I've had this in my shoulder for the majority of the year. I developed a knee injury, which never had any real issues with my knees unless I really tried to beat myself up. Several other issues in my legs with my tendons. I also got tendonitis in my elbows, and I saw a chiropractor bi-weekly to make sure that I wasn't completely falling apart. And a really important note to all this stuff is I could run into a wall before and maybe get a scrape. And at this point, I was practicing handstands and getting tendonitis in my elbows. So if you are training for something or if you are really active in fitness, just please be aware that this is a side effect of it. Now, I was focusing on losing some extra fat and body recomposition while I was on the medication. The fat loss was not due to the medication. I just want to really preface this. This does not make you lose fat. But as you can see, my face and the shape of my nose even changed. But this was due to fitness. This was not due to Accutane. But losing weight on this medication, I do want to make a separate video on that, just because losing weight on it was just a whole nother experience. The next side effect, my skin became like paper. As you can see here, my wrists, just when I wore grips to do anything in the gym, such as pull-ups or weightlifting, this was only a few pull-ups on the bar. The skin on my wrists would just open up. If I would bang my elbow up against a door or a wall, it would be totally cut open. I mean, my skin really truly was just like paper. So one of the side effects that they really talk about and they make you sign papers for, knowing that you understand the risk of, is the severe depression that can come with taking this medication. Now, I have been to many dermatologists for the last decade, and I don't know why any dermatologist never really told me that this was an option when getting on Accutane. But if you do experience depression, you can try getting on an antidepressant to help combat those issues that you are having. This is the exact situation that winded up happening for me. I started feeling extreme feelings of sadness. I was trying to tell myself it was just the medication. I did get pretty sad, but I did get on an antidepressant, and that essentially combated that one side effect for me. The next side effect, I don't know if this one is particularly for me because of my lifestyle in the gym, but feelings of just weakness. Overall feelings of weakness. I eat pretty clean, and that usually gives me the energy to lift heavy and go hard in the gym every day. But I really have to push myself almost every day to push through the feeling of just feeling really weak. The next one is nosebleeds. I got these worse with dry weather or when I was stressed or overwhelmed. Sometimes they were random, but the random ones only happened maybe once or twice in the beginning. I could probably count on both hands how many nosebleeds I actually did have, but this was because my nasal passage was just incredibly dry, because this medication does dry you out. The next side effect is having dry eyes. My doctor recommended I not wear contacts on this medication, but I refuse to do that. I've been wearing contacts since I was 12 years old. I was like, how bad could it possibly be? And truly, it's really the only time that it was that bad is when I was driving late at night. They'd get really dry, or if I just got out of a hot shower. So at night, I tended to just have to take them out immediately after a shower, which is not something I would typically have to do. So the very last side effect is back pain. This is where I'm not entirely sure about this one side effect, because I had to be put on birth control to get on this medication. And that's something that's incredibly important about this, which I will get into in the next part. And that's one of my normal side effects in my monthly cycle. So I couldn't determine whether that was a side effect from the Accutane or the birth control that I was put on, because the birth control had some pretty bad side effects with that. Now this is everything that you will need to know about getting on this medication if you are going to get on it. So this is how it's going to work. Every month you have to get your blood taken to check your levels, to see if this has any impact on your liver. If it does have a bad impact on your liver, it will probably take you more than 6 months. Apparently I was lucky and it did not have a bad impact on my liver. Therefore, I was actually able to get it done within 6 months. Most people need to stay on it for 8 months to a year. And my dermatologist told me to expect to be on it for a year, just so I didn't get my hopes up. But I feel very fortunate and very lucky that I only had to stay on this medication for 6 months. And of course, the test is for other things, because they have to make sure through your blood that you are not pregnant, because you have to sign legal documentation with the government that you promise not to get pregnant on this medication because of the deformities that it actually causes in children in the womb. Every month you will have to go to the iPledge website where your dermatologist creates an account for you. It looks like this, and answer the same questions every month in the exact order that you answered them the first time. So if you say that your two methods of birth control are, for instance, birth control and male condoms, if you answer male condoms and birth control, the next month it will say that it was wrong and you have to reset the whole system and call someone at iPledge. So just make sure that you write down what order you actually answered those questions in. I did not see any changes in the first 1 to 2 months, and my doctor kept telling me it's going to get worse before it gets better, which is completely true. As you saw in the transformation, the first 1 to 2 months, even in the video, I was saying that the medication was just like, the acne on my arms got really bad, and it will get worse before it gets better. And with all these side effects, it can seem really daunting. It is worth it if you stick through it. Some side effects for people, I do know if they're too extreme, please work with your doctor. But for me personally, the side effects were completely worth it. And I just didn't want to give up. I just found ways to battle or cope with these side effects. So as I said earlier, I still have about 2 more weeks on this medication. I will be making a follow-up video because, as you saw in the after, I still have some markings. That is not acne, that is just the leftover markings from how bad my acne did get. So that should actually clear up in a couple months after not being on medication anymore. I also hope this video was very informative, and if I missed anything, please let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer. Please don't forget to hit that bell and hit the like button. It would really help me out a lot. And best of luck on your journey on Accutane, and have a wonderful day.